I did not think when I was buying these things. And that's something that I quite often do. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today's video is basically a status update on my suspension upgrade progress. So today I'm going to talk about this rear spring installation, since that became sort of a small problem. As I mentioned in my previous video where I talked about this whole kit. So in that video I described how the rear spring is installed, and it uses this plastic nylon, sort of a replacement of the upper factory rubber seat that goes into like a steel metal cup that sits in kind of sits in the chassis. So I got rid of those when I installed my H&R kit. I guess I tossed, like I mentioned, I tossed those parts, I trashed them. So basically this is the part that came with this kit. It goes on the top of this helper spring, and then this goes into that metal cup. So since I don't have that metal cup, I figured I can replace this and do something a little bit better. It's a nylon as far as I can tell, and I don't know, I just don't like it. Although there is some benefit to it, it kind of slips across the surface fairly easy, so that's a good thing for the spring to have. So I figured the solution for this, okay, so this is the main spring, there is this coupler, there is this helper spring, and then the top. So the top of this spring is going to go, basically the helper spring, I'm going to use this polyurethane spring insulator that fits perfectly into this. And then I made this sort of a upper spring seat. I made this myself. This is an aluminum part, like a UFO shape thingy, a flying saucer. But in any case, this conical upper boss fits into the chassis itself, and the bottom I made it to be an exact diameter to fit inside of this polyurethane spring insulator. That's how it's going to be. This is going to be basically a replacement of that cup, steel cup. This is still metal, but it's aluminum. And I'm going to have this polyurethane seat that is kind of replicates the factory rubber seat on the factory OEM spring, I guess. It's a little bit better, I guess, compared to this nylon. It's just like this nylon thing is just, I don't know, it feels like it's a bit loose, and this lip is really skinny. I don't know. But in any case, this goes here, and then of course this coupler, and then the main spring, and that's how it's going to be assembled and go into the car. There's something else that I wanted to mention today. I got something else, I guess, that I mentioned this before in that video. So this is something like this. That's what it is. So what it is, it's basically something, there's a bunch of something in Japanese. This is a Swift made product. So what it is, it's basically a steel washer like this. I think these two rings are Teflon, and then there is this another steel washer basically, and I think these are stainless. I think these are Teflon, and this thing goes in between. Well, you're supposed to be using two of them, like one set, two of these on the bottom of the spring and on the top of the spring. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure if I want to do this. I think I will just use one on the bottom. Everything else kinda, I don't know, feels slippery, but I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I might use two of these as it is recommended. This basically can go here and on the top. So this allows the spring, when it compresses and uncompresses, so the spring while doing this is actually sort of twists. So if you have a rigid mount, or sort of like a factory rubber seat on the bottom and on the top where the spring is completely captivated, I guess. They say it's not a good thing. People that are professionals in motorsports and such. In any case, this is what I'm going to be using. Well, I hope it helps. I don't personally think I will notice any difference, because the original design is kind of, I don't know, fairly slippery. I don't know if it's supposed to really do any of that rotational, I guess, to have that rotational freedom or not. But in any case, that's I'm going to be using this on the bottom. I think that's where I figured it will go. And then I will have this coupler, and then I will have this helper spring, and then the upper. That's basically what's going to go into the car in the rear. And this is the replacement. I guess I'm trying to kind of recap this video since I'm coming to the end of this video now. So basically that's that. And the other thing I wanted to mention in the end of this video is this hardware that I'm going to be using. Here is a factory 12mm by 1.5 bolt that is actually, this bolt came from the front. Well, this bolt is fine. It's a 10.9 steel, and there is a nut, there's a washer, and this nut is a self-locking nut, but and it's not really rusted. It's got some surface finish coating, but they kind of, well, eventually rust. So I'm basically replacing that bolt with this titanium bolt. So it's got a shoulder, basically like a washer that is integrated into the bolt's head, and the nuts are also the same way. They kind of have a shoulder, which, well, the nut is basically the same as design as this steel nut. That's basically what is going to go into a couple of places. Actually, I have this one is a little bit shorter. It will go into the toe control arms, I think. So that's I mean, it's a little bit lighter, but it's much nicer as far as cosmetics go, and it also is not it's not going to rust really, at least not as much as this rusts. And I also have a set of these nuts. These are M10, I think, by 1.5. They go into a couple of places, I think. Sway bar end links, too, and I have one extra. Well, actually, they sell a kit. I bought a kit of 5 from like a motorcycle place. Or for motorcycle, it's a kit for Honda or Yamaha or something like that. They did, just motorcyclists like to use the light hardware. Well, that should be it for this video. This was just basically an update, like I said, on the status of my current suspension installation project. And I'm really getting close to getting, this is the last piece, I think, at this moment, this is the last piece of the puzzle that I am ready to put in, and after that it's going to be a drive test. Yeah, we'll do that. So I guess that's it for today. Thanks for watching my channel, my videos.